What if the heaviest burden you are carrying right now is not the uncertainty of your future, but the phantom of a past you thought you were supposed to live? Have you ever noticed how much energy it takes to pretend you are not exactly where you are? There is a strange, quiet pain in realizing your life has suddenly changed direction. You had a plan, you had a timeline, you had a clear image of who you were supposed to be by now. And then the road turned. Maybe a career path dissolved, a long-term relationship ended, or a dream you held onto for years simply stopped making sense. Now, you find yourself at square one. You are a beginner again, and instead of feeling free, you feel an overwhelming sense of embarrassment. You feel exposed. You imagine the eyes of others resting heavily upon you, judging you for falling behind, for losing your way, for not having it all figured out. You feel a burning shame that you are starting over when you thought you had already built your foundation. But here is the truth few people want to face. Most of your suffering in this moment is not caused by the new direction of your life. It is caused by how tightly you are holding on to the old one. In Buddhist thought, one of the deepest lessons we can learn is the reality of impermanence. Everything shifts, everything changes. Yet, we create rigid, inflexible stories about how our lives must unfold. We attach our entire sense of worth to a specific outcome. When reality inevitably diverges from that story, we do not just grieve the change, we punish ourselves for it. We attack ourselves for not being able to force the river to flow backward. Imagine a great tree standing on the edge of a forest. For years, it has grown its strongest branches reaching toward the eastern sun. It is tall, proud, and established. But one night, a violent storm sweeps through, breaking its largest, most magnificent branch. When the morning comes, the tree is fundamentally changed. If that tree had a human mind, it might feel embarrassed. It might try to hide its brokenness, desperately trying to hold up the dead wood, refusing to absorb water, because it is ashamed of its new, uneven shape. But the tree does not do this. It stands in the quiet morning air, and over time, it slowly sprouts new, tiny leaves where the light now touches its broken trunk. It does not apologize for changing shape. It simply grows in the new direction of the sun. Think about your own life. Are you carrying the dead wood of your old expectations? Are you so busy, being embarrassed by your new beginning that you are refusing to let the light touch you where you are right now? You do not have to attack yourself for being a beginner. It is a violent thing to abandon yourself just when you need your own support the most. When you feel that flush of embarrassment rise, do not run from it, but do not let it command you. Pause, breathe. Let the feeling rise without making it your identity. Observe the thought, I should be further along, and recognize it for what it is, just a thought, passing like a thin cloud across the vast, clear sky of your awareness. You are not behind. You are simply on a new path. But letting go of that embarrassment is only the first step. Because before you can truly embrace where you are, you must first examine the expectations that are making you feel so lost. And this is where the next truth begins. Why do we feel such deep shame when our lives take an unexpected turn? Perhaps it is because the map we have been following so faithfully was never really ours to begin with. Here is a hard truth about the embarrassment you are feeling right now. The heavy weight resting on your chest is often not about your own disappointment. It is the weight of borrowed expectations. From the time we are young, we are handed a timeline. We are told what success looks like, when we should achieve it, and how our lives should appear to the outside world. You reach a certain age, and you are supposed to have the steady career, the clear identity, the finished foundation. When you suddenly change direction, when you step off that paved road, you feel like you have failed. The embarrassment is born from the belief that everyone else is moving forward while you are sliding backward. But Buddhism reminds us that much of our suffering comes from attaching ourselves to illusions. We cling tightly to an image of who we are supposed to be, a fixed identity created by society, family, or our own past pride. We mistake this rigid image for reality. When life strips that image away, we panic. We feel naked. We feel like we have lost our very selves. But you cannot lose what was never truly you. You have only lost an idea. Imagine a weary traveler who has spent years walking through a dense, difficult forest. In their hands, they hold a very old map, drawn by people who lived long ago. The traveler follows the lines on the paper perfectly, but the map leads them straight into a deep, impassable marsh. They are stuck in the mud. Instead of questioning the map, the traveler feels ashamed. They look at their muddy boots and think, "I must have done something wrong. I am a failure as a traveler." They sit in the swamp, embarrassed and exhausted, refusing to move because the map says there should be a dry road here. The only way out is not to try harder. The only way out is to drop the map. Only then can the traveler look up, see the actual terrain, and find a new, solid path. Think about the direction your life has just taken. Think about the career you left, the relationship that ended, or the dream that shifted. Are you sitting in the mud, blaming your own feet because the reality of your life no longer matches the map you were handed? The fear of telling your friends, your family, or your colleagues that you are starting over is terrifying, but clinging to a dead path just to save face will cost you your soul. Ask yourself, whose map are you holding? Are you truly mourning the loss of this old path? Or are you just afraid of what people will think now that you have stepped off it? What would happen if you simply admitted, "I do not know where I am going right now, and that is okay"? Stop trying to force the terrain to match a piece of paper. Pause, breathe. Feel the ground beneath your feet exactly as it is today. You do not need a grand plan to take a single, honest step forward. Drop the map you never drew. But realizing the map is an illusion is one thing. Standing in the uncertainty that follows is another. Because when you drop the false expectations, you are left alone with the raw, uncomfortable reality of your current moment. And learning to stay with yourself in that fire is the next great challenge. What if the hardest part of starting over is not the fear of the unknown future, but the burning discomfort of the present moment? When the direction of your life changes, it is rarely a quiet transition. Often, it feels like an internal alarm is ringing. You tell a friend that you have walked away from a safe career, or you admit to your family that a long-held dream is no longer viable. In that exact moment, a hot, prickling sensation rises in your chest. It is the raw, agonizing fire of embarrassment. Your mind immediately scrambles to put it out. You want to rush and say, "But I have a plan," or "I am already looking at better options." You desperately try to prove that you are not lost, simply to extinguish the burning shame of being seen in a state of unmaking. But Buddhist wisdom teaches us that suffering multiplies when we try to escape what we are feeling. There is a teaching of the two arrows. The first arrow is the natural pain of a life transition, the sudden change, the loss, the uncertainty. It hurts, but it is a part of life. The second arrow is our reaction to it, our frantic attempt to avoid feeling that pain, our self-judgment, and our embarrassment. We abandon ourselves in the moment we feel most vulnerable because we cannot tolerate the heat of our own exposure. We run from the fire, leaving our true selves behind in the ashes. Imagine a field of dry, overgrown brush that has suddenly caught fire in the heat of late summer. The flames are loud, bright, and intense. The natural instinct of every creature is to scatter, to run as fast and as far away as possible. But beneath the surface, the deep, ancient roots of the great trees do not move. They remain securely grounded in the dark soil. They withstand the heat, knowing that the fire is not there to destroy the earth. It is there to clear away the dead weight. The fire consumes the dry, lifeless brush, eventually leaving behind a layer of rich, quiet ash that will feed new growth. Think about your own life. When the embarrassment of your new beginning flares up, do you panic and scatter? Do you abandon your own heart just because you feel exposed? We so often attack ourselves for feeling lost, piling on criticism and shame, turning the natural fire of transition into a raging storm of self-hatred. You do not have to do this. You have permission to simply stand in the fire of your own discomfort. You do not need to explain your changing path to anyone just to make the heat go away. Ask yourself, what would happen if you stopped defending your life to people who are not living it? What if, the next time that hot flush of embarrassment rises, you did not rush to fix it or hide it? Pause, breathe, stay with yourself in the fire. Let the feeling of being a beginner wash over you without making a sudden movement. Place a hand on your chest and offer yourself the one thing you are desperately seeking from the outside world: quiet presence. Be a calm witness to your own discomfort, trusting that it will not consume you. The fire will not burn forever. It will pass, leaving behind a beautifully cleared space. But standing in that open, empty space can feel entirely foreign when you are used to the dense, overgrown forest of your past. Once the fire of embarrassment fades, how do you learn to walk in this new emptiness? That is where the quiet truth of your new reality finally reveals itself. 4. The beauty of the beginner's mind. What if the empty space you are so afraid of is actually the most powerful place you could ever stand? Here is a truth we rarely admit. We deeply resent being beginners. When we are forced to start over, whether at 30, 40, or 60, we feel incredibly foolish. You sit in a new job entirely outside your old expertise, or walk into a quiet apartment after a long relationship ends, or try to rebuild a life from scratch, and you feel entirely small. You look around and compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. You assume that because you do not have the answers, you have somehow failed. You believe that knowing nothing is a weakness, and so you relentlessly attack yourself for your own innocence. But in Buddhist thought, there is a beautiful teaching surrounding the beginner's mind. Buddhism reminds us that the mind of the expert is often a trap. The expert's mind is full of rigid assumptions, heavy ego, and past limitations. It holds tightly to how things should be, leaving no room for anything new. But the beginner's mind is entirely open. It is empty, soft, and receptive. To be a beginner is not a demotion in the school of life. It is a profound spiritual return to true openness. Imagine a vast, sprawling field that has been heavily farmed for years. The same crops have been planted over and over, slowly draining the soil of its deep nutrients. The field is established, but it is exhausted. Then, a long, harsh winter arrives. The ground freezes, and a thick blanket of white snow covers the earth, stripping it bare. To the anxious farmer, the field looks barren. It looks like an embarrassing failure. But beneath the cold snow, the soil is quietly resting. It is returning to a state of absolute, pure potential. It is only because the field is bare that it can eventually receive entirely new seeds. Think about the bare field of your own life right now. You might be struggling to navigate a direction you never expected to take. You feel embarrassed because your life looks empty compared to the blooming, established routines of the people around you. But you are forgetting the hidden power of your position. They are bound by the structures of what they already know. You are in the rare, beautiful state of limitless potential. Ask yourself, what if knowing nothing is exactly what you need right now? What are you afraid will happen if you simply look at the world and admit that you are learning? Is your harsh, inner judgment bringing you peace? Or is it just feeding your fear of the unknown? Stop trying to act like an expert in a life you have never lived before. Pause, Breathe. When you stumble on this new path, do not attack yourself. Let the feeling of not knowing be a gentle teacher, not a cruel judge. Give yourself the profound grace to be clumsy, to be unsure, and to be a quiet student of your own life once again, because the beginner's mind is the only place where true transformation can take root. It is the quiet soil where real peace is planted. But to truly embrace this emptiness, you must stop looking around to see who is watching you grow. And this is where the next truth begins. 5. Releasing the need for external validation. Have you ever noticed how quiet your life would feel if you stopped worrying about who was watching it? Here is the truth few people want to face when starting over. The deepest part of your exhaustion right now does not come from doing the hard work of rebuilding your life. It comes from the heavy, invisible labor of managing what everyone else thinks about it. When you change direction, step away from a respected career, or leave a life that looked perfect on the outside, you feel exposed. You imagine your family, your old colleagues, and your friends whispering about your choices. You spend hours replaying conversations in your head, trying to construct the perfect explanation to prove you are not a failure. You want them to validate your new path so that you can finally feel safe walking it. But Buddhism reminds us that attaching our inner peace to the opinions of others is a guaranteed path to suffering. We place our self-worth in the minds of people who are entirely consumed by their own fears and attachments. We hand over the keys to our happiness to an audience that is constantly changing. In Buddhist thought, this need for external approval is seen as a heavy chain. As long as you need the world to tell you that your new beginning is acceptable, you are a prisoner to their shifting moods. You abandon yourself every time you look to someone else to justify your existence. Imagine a deep, still mountain lake reflecting the night sky. On a calm evening, the surface of the lake perfectly mirrors the brilliant, silver light of the moon. It is a beautiful, flawless image. But then, a harsh wind blows through the valley. The water ripples violently, and the reflection of the moon shatters into 1,000 broken, jagged pieces. If the moon were self-aware, it might look down at that broken reflection and feel deeply embarrassed. It might think, I am shattered, I am ruined, I have lost my shape. But the moon in the sky has not changed at all. It is completely whole, entirely untouched by the turbulence of the water below. Think about your own life in this modern world. You are the moon. The opinions, judgments, and misunderstandings of your family, peers, and society, these are just ripples on the water. When you look into their eyes and see a disappointed or confused reflection of your new life, you feel ashamed. You attack yourself because you think their broken reflection is the truth of who you are. You are exhausting yourself trying to smooth out the wind and the water in 100 different minds, desperately trying to force them to see you clearly. But you cannot control the wind. You cannot control the water. Ask yourself, whose permission are you still waiting for? What are you still holding on to out of fear of being misunderstood? What would happen if no one ever applauded this quiet, messy chapter of your life? Could you find a way to honor it anyway? Stop trying to force the world to understand a journey they are not walking. Pause, breathe, observe the desperate urge to explain yourself without following it. Let the feeling of being judged rise, and watch it pass like a cloud across the sky. Do your part in this new life, then gently release the outcome. You do not need to perform your healing. You do not need a crowd to validate your courage. Because true freedom is not found when everyone finally agrees with your choices. True freedom is found when you no longer need them to. But letting go of the crowd leaves you alone with yourself. And when the noise of the world finally fades, you must confront the deepest illusion of all, the belief that you were ever the path you were walking in the first place. And this is where the next truth begins. 6. You are not the path you walk. What if the reason it hurts so much to lose your direction is because you deeply believed your direction was who you were? Here is a quiet, difficult truth about starting over. We live in a world that demands we define ourselves by what we do, where we are going, and what we have built. For years, you introduced yourself using your job title, your relationship status, or your grand plans for the future. You built a heavy, solid identity around a specific trajectory. When that trajectory suddenly shifts or dissolves, the embarrassment is agonizing. You do not just feel like you lost your way, you feel like you have lost yourself. When people ask you, "What are you doing now?" you freeze. You feel an overwhelming sense of shame, because without your old path, you feel entirely invisible. You feel like a ghost in your own life. But Buddhist wisdom offers a profoundly different view of who you are. One of the deepest lessons of Buddhism is the practice of non-attachment to the self. We suffer intensely because we attach our entire existence to temporary labels. We say, "I am a failure," or "I am lost," instead of recognizing that failure and loss are simply temporary experiences passing through us. You are not your job. You are not your past relationship. You are not the mistakes you made. And you are not the success you once had. You are the quiet, unchanging awareness beneath all of those things. Imagine the vast, infinite expanse of the open sky. Over the course of a single day, the sky experiences 100 different transformations. Thick, dark storm clouds roll in. Later, delicate white clouds drift by quietly. In the evening, a heavy, blinding fog settles over the horizon. If the sky mistakenly believed that it was the clouds, it would be in a constant state of panic. It would feel deep embarrassment every time the dark, messy storm clouds appeared, believing its very identity was ruined. It would fight desperately to hold on to the bright white clouds. But the sky does not do this. The sky knows it is not the weather. It simply holds the weather, remaining completely untouched, vast and whole, no matter what passes through it. Think about your own life right now. Are you mistaking the clouds for the sky? The career you left behind, the direction that shifted, the new, unfamiliar role you are clumsily trying to learn, these are just clouds drifting across the sky of your life. When you sit among friends and feel that sharp sting of embarrassment because you cannot summarize your current status in one impressive sentence, you are forgetting your true nature. You are judging the vastness of your sky simply because you do not like the current shape of your clouds. Ask yourself, who are you without your old titles? What are you afraid will happen if you simply exist in this world without a heavy label to hide behind? Is this desperate need for a defined identity bringing you peace, or is it feeding your exhaustion? You do not need to be a finished product to be worthy of taking up space. Pause, breathe. Observe the desperate urge to define yourself without following it. Let the feeling of being untethered rise and watch it drift away like fog in the wind. You do not have to attack yourself for being undefined, because you are not the road you walk. You are the one walking it. And once you stop trying to be the path, you can finally begin to nurture the ground beneath your feet. And this is where the next truth begins. 7. Planting seeds in unfamiliar soil. What if the most crucial part of your new beginning is happening quietly, in the dark, where no one can see it? Here is a strange contradiction about starting over. Even after we accept that our direction has changed, a new kind of anxiety often takes over. We demand to be good at our new life immediately. We want the new career to bloom overnight, the new daily routine to feel perfectly natural, and our new identity to look incredibly polished to the outside world. When we inevitably stumble, when we feel clumsy, out of place, or slow to learn, the deep flush of embarrassment returns. We attack ourselves for our awkwardness. We want to rush the process so we can have something impressive to show the crowd, desperately hoping to prove that changing our path was the right choice all along. But in Buddhist thought, there is a profound reverence for the unseen, unhurried process of growth. We are taught to respect the natural rhythm of things. Buddhism reminds us that true transformation cannot be forced, rushed, or pulled violently from the earth, simply because our ego is impatient. To demand immediate perfection from a new beginning is a form of deep internal violence. It is a refusal to accept the reality of the present moment. Imagine a tiny, fragile seed dropped into a patch of unfamiliar, dark soil. The seed has been taken from the warmth of its old environment and plunged into the cold, heavy dirt. If the seed had an anxious human mind, it would panic in the total darkness. It would feel deep embarrassment that it had not sprouted a brilliant flower by the very next morning. It would try to forcefully push its way through the heavy earth all at once, exhausting itself before it ever broke the surface. But a seed in nature does not rush the dark. It trusts the slow, invisible work of taking root. It allows the hard casing around it to break open a quiet, uncomfortable surrender, so that a delicate shoot can slowly, steadily reach upward toward the sun. Think about your own life in this new chapter. You have been planted in the unfamiliar soil of a new routine, a new city, or a completely new way of viewing yourself. You feel awkward. You are making mistakes. You are no longer the expert you once were. But instead of trusting the process, are you standing over the bare dirt of your life, silently screaming at the seeds to grow faster? Are you attacking your own clumsiness when you have only just arrived in this new earth? Ask yourself, what are you desperately trying to rush? What are you afraid will happen if you allow yourself to grow slowly out of sight? Is this constant pressure to have it all figured out bringing you peace? Or is it just another way of abandoning yourself? Stop trying to drag the future into the present moment. Pause, breathe, give yourself the profound permission to be exactly as awkward and unfinished as you need to be right now. Plant your small, quiet daily efforts, water them with patience, and gently release the demand for a sudden harvest, because you cannot force the flower to bloom before its season. But as you learn to trust this slow, quiet growth, something far more important begins to take root deep beneath the surface. You realize that the ultimate goal was never just about surviving the change in your path. The goal was about finally finding your way back, and this is where the final truth awaits. 8. The grace of coming home to yourself. Remember the heavy weight we spoke about at the very beginning, that burning embarrassment of standing at square one, feeling exposed, feeling like you had somehow failed because your life took an unexpected turn. For so long, you have been trying to apologize for your own life. You have been carrying the dead wood of old expectations, holding onto a map that led you straight into the mud, and attacking yourself for being a clumsy beginner in a world that demands instant perfection. You thought that if you just judged yourself harshly enough, you could somehow force your life back onto the old track. But look closely at what this unexpected turn has actually done. It stripped away the heavy illusion of control. It shattered the false image you were exhausting yourself to maintain for an audience that never truly mattered. It burned down the dry brush of a path you were never meant to walk forever. In Buddhism, there is a profound understanding that the ultimate journey is not about reaching a specific external destination. It is about returning to your true self. We spend so much of our lives abandoning our own hearts in order to meet the expectations of the world. We build rigid identities and tie our deepest self-worth to temporary achievements. When life naturally breaks our plans, we feel deeply embarrassed. But this breaking is not a tragedy. It is a liberation. It is the painful, beautiful dismantling of everything that was never truly you. Imagine an old, beautifully constructed house. For years, the heavy doors were locked, the windows were shuttered tight, and the thick roof kept everything perfectly controlled and predictable inside. The owner of the house was very proud of this sturdy structure. But one day, a massive, unyielding storm blows through and rips the heavy roof entirely off the house. To the outside world, the house looks ruined. It looks like a terrible, embarrassing failure. But for the very first time in years, the stale darkness inside is gone. The brilliant silver moonlight pours directly onto the floor. The rain gently washes away years of accumulated dust. The house is no longer closed off from the universe. The destruction of the roof was the exact thing required to let the vast, beautiful sky inside. Think about your own life. Your carefully constructed roof has been removed. You feel embarrassed by your own openness, entirely exposed to the elements of your new reality. But what if this sudden change in direction is not a demotion? What if the universe simply removed the heavy roof of your old expectations so that the light could finally reach you? You do not have to be an expert in this new chapter. You do not have to have a perfect, polished answer. When people ask where you are going, you only have one true responsibility right now: to simply refuse to abandon yourself. Stop attacking yourself for starting over. Pause, breathe, place a hand over your heart, and finally forgive yourself for not knowing the way. Honor the quiet, unseen growth happening in the dark soil of your life. Give yourself the profound grace to exist as you are right now, without needing a title, a grand plan, or an audience to justify your worth. Because true peace is not found when you finally manage to rebuild the roof. Peace is found when you realize you are completely safe beneath the open sky. If these lessons touched your heart, share this video with someone who may need a little more peace today. Let life meet you exactly where you are.